I recently built and launched my first paid digital product, the ultimate e-commerce Google Ads checklist. In this video, I will share the top 9 lessons I learned from launching this product, and also I'll give you an honest share of the big fail I have had in this process too. What I did was condense over 10 years of mine and my team's knowledge into a checklist with over 200 action items and SOPs designed to teach both beginners and pros alike how to build wildly profitable Google Ads campaigns for e-commerce. The checklist contains the exact strategies my team and I use to regularly make more than $40 million in e-commerce revenue annually for our clients. I know the knowledge in this checklist is good, but this was the first time I actually packaged my knowledge as a paid-for product, and I learned a lot through this process. So in no particular order, let's get on with the lessons I learned. The first lesson I wanted to share is how I built and maintained a swipe file of the competition in Notion. There's an old adage: good marketers copy, great marketers steal. Well, building a swipe file, then training my social media algorithms to show me the competition was super valuable in giving me tons of ideas to steal. The first step was to train Facebook to serve me competitor ads in my feed. Doing this is really simple. I was already sometimes getting served similar kinds of ads in my feed, so all I did was click on the ads when I saw them to open the landing page, and then I made sure to stop scrolling when I see the ad, and I would also click the like button on the ad and also save it to a list called Good Advertising. Once the algo is showing me lots of similar ads for other companies selling high-value checklists and info products, I then built a swipe file in Notion. Here's how it looks. It's a simple Notion database using a gallery view. When I see a good ad, I screenshot the ad image, the ad copy, plus I note down the landing page URL. All of this info goes into an entry in my Notion swipe file. I also created a property where I can select what this is inspiration for. I use the swipe file to get inspiration for my checklist marketing campaign, but also for sales funnels, YouTube thumbnails, and a few other things. So once I've entered in what this is inspiration for, I can then use these filtered views in Notion to quickly see all my swiped ads for any particular topic. Once I had built up this system, I made it even easier for me to maintain by teaching my assistant how to make entries for me. Now, all I need to do to enter a new ad in here is text her the ad URL, and she will know what to do next. Lesson number 2, weird hooks in video creative can work really well. We are primarily relying on Facebook ads to market our checklist. We made a bunch of images and videos to advertise the product and got to test through them to see which of these ones performed the best. And the 2 videos that actually performed best were the 2 videos that were a bit out there, a bit weird in terms of the hook we used. Honestly, I thought both of these video ads were going to bomb, but I just did them anyway. I always recommend that when making video ads for ad campaigns, you go mostly with what you think will work, but also throw in some test ideas that are a bit out there. Looking in my Facebook ads report, you can see these 2 videos here got by far the best click-through rate and cost per click. So let's have a look at the videos and hooks that I used. So this first one here, I really thought wasn't gonna work, to be honest.
E-commerce store founders, you have a choice. You take the blue pill and wake up tomorrow with mediocre or break-even sales. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I'll show you how other e-commerce stores make 5 to 10x ROAS and scale 3 to 5 times faster than you.
After we shot the thing, I realized that I am talking for quite a bit before I even say what the video is about. I mean, it's more than 10 seconds of me waffling on and on about the red pill, blue pill nonsense before I actually come in and say, hey, this is a Google Ads checklist that gets really high performance for my agency clients. I was almost going to can the ad, but at this point we already shot it and edited it, so I thought, might as well. Let's give it a try. Little did I know at the time it would go on to be our best performing ad. The second best performing ad was this one here. I saw this idea on one of the ads I swiped, and the idea really stuck with me. Here's the ad. So the idea is to write the hook on a notebook and then right at the start of the ad, flip the notebook up. When I saw someone else using this idea, I noticed how the notebook flip really draws the eye, and then you were basically powerless to stop yourself reading what's on the notebook. Like, it's so fast and the motion is so sudden you literally can't stop yourself reading it. This idea was another one I wasn't sure about. I thought the notebook looks a bit ghetto and maybe this idea doesn't look very professional. But yeah, in the end, it worked. So note to self, always try a few weird and wonderful hook ideas in my video ads. My third lesson learned is that people want the how, not just the what. The initial idea for the checklist was to be exactly that, just a checklist. Just the 200 plus action points telling you what to do. You tick off the boxes, and by the time you get to the end, you have a super well set up e-commerce Google Ads account. My first customers for this checklist were my business friends, people who I know through my entrepreneurial network who were kind enough to accept a free copy of the checklist in exchange for giving me feedback. And it became pretty clear right away that just having the action points were not enough. People wanted to know exactly how to do these things, not just what. That was a pretty important lesson, and knowing this, I got my whole team together and we started writing out a super detailed standard operating procedure, or SOP, for every single item on the checklist. With over 200 total items, that is a lot of SOPs to write. It took me and my whole team over 4 months to complete this work, but it was totally worth it. Now, not only is this product a checklist, but it also kind of functions as a full-blown, super actionable course that teaches you how to be successful with e-commerce Google Ads. And the product now appeals to pros and beginners alike. People experienced with Google Ads will be able to use this checklist as originally intended, just by ticking off the points and not needing to read the detailed SOPs. Newbies, on the other hand, will probably want to read every SOP as they go along to help guide them on the way. And that's cool because now they can do that. Lesson number 4, when it comes to landing pages, just hire someone good and pay them what they are worth. My first attempt at creating a landing page for our product was to try and do it on the cheap, in-house. Only problem, I don't have anyone super experienced with creating landing pages on the team, least of all me. My operations guy, Aaron, volunteered to throw something together in Go High Level, which is the sort of Swiss Army knife app that we use that can do email marketing, lead management, calendars, SMS, and pretty much everything else in between. My thinking was that we were going to do a minimum viable product, or MVP, landing page, just to test the waters, and then invest in higher quality design and development later on if the thing shows signs of working. Well, it didn't work out so well. I don't have the original landing page to show you because we overwrote it with the new one. Suffice to say, it was fugly. Text heavy, weird alignment, colors and spacing off, not enough visuals, etc. Not only that, but it took so long for us to put together even that fugly MVP landing page because of our lack of in-house experience and the fact we had so many other things going on at the time. In the end, I decided it was time to scrap the MVP idea and go straight to the pro design. Working with a landing pages and funnels pro was so much better. We were able to turn out this beauty in a few weeks and I was super happy with the result. In the copy for the landing page, I knew it was important to really hit the pain points people have when trying to build and scale their Google Ads. So that's why I talked about how this checklist stops the frustration associated with the guessing game when you don't know exactly which Google Ads levers to pull. Of course, I had to mention some specific results, so I shared on the landing page how the $40 million in e-commerce revenue we achieved through Google Ads per year for clients was basically thanks to the processes in this checklist. I also shared some client-specific results from case studies we have, and of course, no landing page is complete without a ton of testimonials, a lot of which came from my network of people who were kind enough to test out the checklist for me. In the end, I was super happy we decided to just pay thousands of dollars for a more premium landing page design and development. It costs more money to do it that way, but you can save a ton of time and frustration that comes with trying to do it all yourself. Lesson number 5 is that the app we were already using as our sales CRM, Go High Level, can also house landing pages and be the shopping cart software and accept payments. I had no idea. We were already using Go High Level for its sales CRM features. When new leads come into our website, they go into Go High Level and they get tracked there. In GHL, we can email and text them, we can get them to book times via a calendar that's connected to the team, and more. So we were already using GHL, but at the time I had no idea it was also a landing page software too. How crazy is that? And this was yet another benefit of my previous point around paying more to work with an expert. It was that landing page expert that taught me we could use Go High Level for this purpose. So we didn't need to get an additional subscription fee to something like ClickFunnels, and we could house our landing pages and shopping cart right there in the system that is already handling our sales leads for us. Nice. Here's a look inside my GHL account. If we click here into the website section, we can see the various funnels we have built. Every page in the sequence is housed right in here. We've got the initial sales page, the order page, the thank you page, and this page here that allows people to sign up for a Google Ads audit if they wish to. If we click in to edit this page here, you can see that Go High Level provides us with a WYSIWYG interface for page building. But one thing I would say about this page is that the inbuilt functionality is a bit limited, and to create a nicely designed custom page like what we have here, you really need a developer to implement a bunch of custom code. We can also use Go High Level for creating landing page split tests, which is a cool sounding feature that I have not yet tried out but plan to do so. Lesson number 6 that I learned is that there's gold in the list, specifically the email list. I know, it's a bit of a cliche to say that there's money in the list. People talk about this all the time, the value of a good email list. Well, that lesson hit home hard for me with this product launch. We have a list of old leads and prospects and people who have signed up to receive emails from us. And it's not a huge list, as I've never really pushed much to grow it. We wrote up an email sequence to announce the checklist to this list, and I was surprised by the results. Honestly, I thought we would get nothing back because my list is small and we never actively marketed to it. But we actually generated checklist sales and eventually leads for our Done For You service from this email sequence to our old and tired list. So this was a big lesson for me. If you have been in business for a while, you probably have a list of old leads and contacts, and maybe like me, you are not even realizing the tremendous value in this list. After seeing the results of launching our new product to the old list, I have learned that I need to be thinking more about actively building my list and also regularly sending valuable emails to it to keep those prospects engaged and keep reminding them that, hey, we exist. You need to be tricky when marketing a product like this one. That's a big thing I learned. When I say be tricky, what I am referring to is using all those tried and true little tricks that you often see on landing pages for products like this one. Sale price, countdown timers, thank you page upsells. There's a reason why people do these things. It's because they work. And the one most important little trick that I learned is to have a valuable upsell to raise the average order value. Without having something like this, for an info product like this, you will struggle to get the return on ad spend from advertising up to an acceptable level. In my case, the upsell is actually to jump on a free 30-minute strategy session with me or one of my team. Here's a look at our thank you page where we upsell the customer on the strategy call. Thank you for your purchase, and then while you're waiting, maybe you'd like to consider hopping on a free strategy call session with us. Customers here are able to click over to a calendar where they can book a session in. And of course, the page has the stuff you'd expect, like testimonials, case studies, what we do, another little testimonial, and all the call to actions on the page point back to the calendar booking form. The ad campaign for product sales is not intended to generate an immediate positive return, if I am honest. But that's actually okay, because a small percentage of people end up hopping on the strategy call, and then some of those end up engaging us for one of our higher level Done For You services, so it all kind of works out at the end, and I'm able to run the ad campaign at a small loss. For the first version of the checklist, I literally did give it away for free to about 150 entrepreneurs I know through the communities I am a part of. They were able to give me valuable feedback on making the checklist even better, and also, most importantly, I asked them what they would have been willing to pay for this checklist. I got a range of numbers back, but when I averaged them, the average was smack bam on $200. My testers were telling me to sell this thing for at least $200, but I didn't do that. I decided to go in much lower and practically give it away with a launch price of $49. Why? Well, as you now know, I built an upsell sequence that upsells people to a strategy call with me, and then eventually to a managed service. Because of this, I wasn't feeling super pressured to make a lot of money on the initial sale. And while I didn't like the idea of the lower price creating lower perceived value for the product, I did think that really the goal is to get a high volume of leads to help raise awareness and eventually get more sales on our managed service. At the end of the day, this checklist product is intended to be a lead magnet, but more of a premium version. The idea with a standard lead magnet is you might give away a little something for free in exchange for the user's contact details, so that you can then market to them later on. And I think the problem with the standard free lead magnet approach is that you get what you pay for. If the product or information being given away is free, there's a good chance that the creator did not invest a ton of time in creating it. Contrast that to what happens when you plan to sell your lead magnet for a premium, like I have been doing. Because the thing now has a price and will generate its own immediate revenue, you can afford to put in a lot more work and effort to produce the thing. That's why I was able to invest 6 months of my time and my team's time. That's 4 months on production, 2 months on setting up the marketing. Because ultimately we knew that if we want people to buy this thing, we are going to have to put in a ton of time and effort to make it really, really good. Alright, so now I will share with you my painful fail, and I'm embarrassed to say, as a paid ads guy, that it was with Facebook ads. Here's the initial Facebook ads campaign I launched, and here's the issue. We're starting off at a CPA of $750, right here, and that is just nowhere near good enough. My goal CPA here is to get to $50 to $100 cost per sale, and when we launched these campaigns, we had a threshold of $500 CPA for our starter CPA. Meaning, if we started out at $500 or less in terms of CPA, then the thinking was that we could optimize it down to below $100 just by iterating and improving the creative. But given the CPA starting out at $750, I think a bigger optimization is needed, and we may need to reconsider our pricing and landing page strategy. Given that we started out at a whopping $750 CPA, I consider this initial launch strategy on Facebook ads to be a massive fail. Ugh. So what am I going to do next? Well, for starters, I think part of the issue with the initial launch was that we tested out too many creative elements all at once. I actually had this campaign running dynamic creative, and it was testing 10 images and 5 ad descriptions. And in my other dynamic creative campaign, I was testing 7 videos, 1 image, and 5 ad descriptions. Plus, at the start, I was also testing 3 different audiences. Yeah, it was a lot to test at once. And looking back on the initial results now, given the high CPC, low conversion rate, and limited budget I have for testing, I believe I went out the gate with testing too many things all at once. A classic rookie error, so there you go, even the pros make this mistake sometimes. Right, so my next step was to then launch this campaign here. Once again, a dynamic creative campaign, but this time I put in only the top performing videos, images, and ad copies. Another amendment I made is something you can see here in my campaign naming structure. Notice that my first 2 campaigns here have buy in the name, whereas this campaign I launched next has initiate in there. Well, that's because I changed the conversion metric to be something slightly higher up the funnel. Previously, they had to buy the thing to be counted as a conversion. But seeing as we are getting low conversion volumes, this strat ain't working because the Facebook algo is not getting enough data to learn with. So the initiate campaign, along with only having the best creatives from the previous campaigns, is also set to optimize for people beginning the checkout process instead of completing it. The idea is to get the machine more conversions to optimize with. Well, this second attempt also hasn't worked out too well so far. The initial CPA is around $260, which is an improvement if all of those initiators actually bought the thing, but in fact, only 1 out of 3 bought the thing, so I'm left with a sky-high $790 cost per purchase once again. Alright, so then I have tried my third step in getting this campaign working well. This new campaign here, you can see a different thing in the campaign name, time on site 60 seconds. So that is in the name because that is the customer conversion I am optimizing for. Looking in the old campaign, for my $790, I only got 3 initiate checkout conversions. Not enough to feed the algo enough data to optimize with. But if we look over here, I did get plenty of time on site conversions. You can see here my custom conversions for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 90 seconds on the site respectively. So my new campaign is optimizing for 60 seconds on the site instead. Optimizing for 60 seconds on the site is not as good, obviously, as optimizing for actual sales when you are getting plenty of daily sales, but it's a lot better than, say, optimizing for clicks. People on the site for 60 seconds have at least loaded the page and been on the site long enough to have maybe read the text and or watched the video. So the good thing about the 60 seconds campaign is that the system will learn much faster which people, placements, and creatives actually result in people getting to and staying on my site. And then the other thing I tried is to modify the price. I did say earlier on that if the initial CPA came in above $500, then I would think that something needs to happen with the pricing or the landing page. I do want to get some updates made to the landing page. I want to do a little limited 2-week sale with a countdown timer at the top. Unfortunately, my awesome landing page guide does not provide ongoing support and maintenance, so I need to find a new designer or developer to help me make this change. If you know anyone good with experience with making pages in Go High Level, please let me know. You can drop me a comment below. In the meantime, what I can at least do is test running a lower price. So right now the price is $25 instead of $49. And right now my plan is to continue running this 50% lower price as a test for 1, maybe 2 more weeks tops. So if you fancy picking up your own copy of my Google Ads checklist, I recommend you get over there and buy right now while the price is still $25. Link in the description below. Condensing decades of experience into a checklist and SOPs, then selling that as a product via ads is no joke. Product build is done, marketing campaign is running, but as you can see, I'm still very much learning through this experience. If you've enjoyed this video, then hit the subscribe button below to stay tuned for more. I post every week about all things Google Ads and e-commerce growth. And you might want to check out this video I did up here for more from me. Alright, see you on the next one, guys.